Well, homelessness is a tough issue and a huge one that every candidate running for election is going to be talking about this year, regardless of whether they're running for governor or dog catcher. By the way, I don't think we elect dog catchers. That's just a phrase. The point is, you're going to hear a lot about a lot of words, and a lot of candidates are going to be talking about this, and I want to help you listen critically to them and to everybody that you see interviewed on the news. Start to listen to the questions that are asked and whether the candidate answers that question directly or dodges it. You're going to find that most will dodge it if they don't like the question. In the media training business, that's called a pivot. Some people do it naturally, others are taught. It's very effective. It's a technique that once you start looking for it, you are going to see everywhere. It's easiest to imagine if you think of basketball. When I ask someone a question, it's like I'm passing the ball to them. If they answer the question directly, it's like they pass the ball back to me. But with the pivot, I pass the ball to them in the form of a question they don't like. Instead of passing the ball back to me, they pivot and pass the ball somewhere else. Instead of answering the question that they don't like, they simply answer a question they do like, even though that's not what I asked. In my 37 years as a reporter, I have found that people who do that the most are politicians. So let's bring up a recent example of one of Oregon's leading politicians, Democrat Tina Kotek. She's running for governor and is considered a front-runner. I interviewed her recently and found her thoughtful and well-versed on the big problems facing the state. I want you to know I respect her. However, that does not give her a free pass when it comes to the pivot. I'm going to play you part of a recent interview where I'm drilling down to find out what she will do with homeless people who refuse to get off the streets, even if they are offered counseling and shelter and all that once she is elected, if she is to become governor. So listen to my questions and then see if you can pick up the pivots in her answer. Here we go. And what about people who say, I don't want to get off the street, leave me alone?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure there are folks that, because of their illness or wherever they are in their lives, that is not something they can see right now. That will take trained social workers and other folks working one-on-one with those individuals to help them get whatever they need. You got to meet people where they are. I will never give up on anybody.
Which is nice, but do you allow them to stay there month after month, year after year? Is there any final effort to literally move them off the street, whether they want to be or not?
Well, until we as government or as neighbors really put enough shelter out there or enough services, it's hard to ask people to move along until we've done our part. So more shelter space, more transitional housing, and finally, I think for the first time, those resources are in the pipeline.
Okay. Was that a yes or no on eventually moving people whether they want to or not?
Well, the moving thing is, if people have a place to go, most people, I believe, that are on the streets want to be off the streets. I don't believe there are people sitting there like, I just want to do this for the rest of my life. I think people don't know where to go next. And they need a helping hand to figure that out. So I would say, I think people do want to get off the streets, and it's our job to help them do that.
Now, did you see that pivot? It was most clear in the last answer, and the answer yes or no to moving people off the street. That was the question. Tina Kotek did not want to answer that, apparently. Instead, she changed my question to the one she liked better, which is, do people on the street want to be there forever or not? Which was not my question. And for that display of pivot mastery, I'm so pleased to award Tina Kotek our very first Pivot of the Day award. On that day, nobody did it better. Again, lots and lots of people do this all the time. Tomorrow, we're going to show you how Republican Christine Drazen does it, just so you know we're not picking on one side or the other. And by the way, if you come across examples, send us a link. We'd love to take a look. Send us an email, whatever you want, get it to us. We'd love to hear from you. And by the way, what do you think about politicians who pivot? Weigh in on that as well. If you would, you could also leave an old-fashioned voicemail. You can give us a call at The Story. The phone number is 503-226-5090.